Hey, konnichiwa minasan, it's Gray from Makazashi's Tea House over in Japan. How you doing? You good? Are you genki? Today I've got a review of DC KO Knightfight issue 1. It's 1 of 3. Die to fight another day, it says here. Written by Joshua Williamson, art by Dan Mora. The reason I picked this up, the reason I bought a copy. And also it's surprisingly $3.99, a rare price these days for DC Comics. This is about Batman versus Batman in the future, Batmen in the future. There could be some Robins in here too. Let's just read the very short synopsis from the publisher. It says, the Dark Knight is forced to take a different path in the tournament for the Heart of Apocalypse, one that has turned Gotham into a deadly arena where Batman must battle against the Batmen of the future. Who are these Batmen? Stay tuned to find out. So, who do you think they are? Who could they be? First of all, I love this main cover by Dan Mora. It's pretty awesome, isn't it? What is he wearing there? What is that bat suit, that bat costume? Pretty awesome. And the Carrie Andrews one, I was chatting with Fairmonic on our weekly preview and picks show, which is available to members, by the way, for members only, or on the Patreon. And this Carrie Andrews is channeling Frank Miller here, by the looks of things. Pretty awesome. I like him. I like them both, but I'll probably go... What would I do? Would I go for the main? It's hard to decide. If I had some more money, I'd probably pick them both up. Okay, anyway, without further ado, I want to get into the story. It's going to be full story summary. There will be spoilers for the ending, just to warn you now, and I'll give my score at the end. So, let's go for it. Please keep watching. Here we go. Okay, let us begin with a full page. You look at the full page here. The opening page shows the great Dan Mora art. We can see Batman looking awesome. Love the lines, the strong lines here. The shadows, the shading. Here's a bit of narration from it. It's Gotham, another night, another crime. This is what I trained for. My mission, to protect the city I call home. But my body's age betrays me. Now that's an important point, something to take note of because it will crop up throughout the story. The sound of my bones cracking is drowned out by the sirens. Gotham's lullaby. Ooh, look at Joshua Williamson, getting poetic. I'm happy to hear that it's Professor Pig and the Circus of Strange are back. This next bit reminds me of the Grant Morrison opener. It appears that Professor Pig and his team have kidnapped a whole school bus full of kids. Well, at least Joshua Williamson doesn't go quite as far as Grant Morrison. He had a school bus full of disabled kids. The Joker was about to kill them all, you remember that? I race as fast as I can to get there in time to save the hostages and take down Pig and his horrific followers. But I'm too late. After a page turn, this is what we're greeted with. 2 pages here. It's not a double page spread, but I wanted to show you, Dan Mora's art in the 2 pages. Let's zoom in onto this first page here. Look at this. You can see that there's a circus tent in the background on fire. It's burning. If you look very closely in the distance below the bat signal, you can see Batman, tiny figure swinging in. And we hear more of his narration. He's talking about, my sons, there was a time when I was alone in Gotham, but that was a lifetime ago. He's watching them work and he's saying it's impossible not to see a little bit of him in each of them. We can see Dick Grayson, Nightwing, Jason Blood then, Jason Todd, Red Hood, and Tim Drake, Robin. Where's Damian? Oh, there he is in the background, and Damian's with some kids in the background. He's helping the kids. Let's zoom in on the next page. We can see here a great shot of the 4 Robins. They were all Robins before, all together, working together. Then we have some more narration about each of them. Just bear with me while I go through this. The leader, for a while I thought Dick would replace me, but he's built a role and life of his own. He leads countless heroes into bigger battles than I ever thought possible when I started. It's kind of weird reading this and reading the Batman Year 1, issue 12 just dropped last week, when, Dick Grayson was really young when he was new. Yeah, it's cool, it's very interesting. Dick's apologising that, sorry, we beat you here. You trained us all too well. Then we've got Batman's thoughts on Jason, the rebel, the survivor. I worry about Jason's penchant for violence, but then sometimes I envy him. He embraced his anger in a way I never could. Let's hear what Jason's got to say about Professor Pig. When are you going to learn, Pig? You're lucky we don't throw you in a pit and leave you for dead. And you know that Jason wants to. Then we move on to Tim, the brains, the detective. Tim is always thinking, always planning. Tim's talking about the need to investigate Pig's plan, make sure there are no surprises. And finally, this is Batman Bruce calling Damian Wayne, his son, the Heart. Damian started as a killer but has grown to be a healer. That's a fascinating turnaround, isn't it, when you think about it? And as Bruce watches his 4 sons, surrogate sons, he's asking himself the infamous question, does Gotham still need me? This is followed by a double-page spread devoted to credits and a kind of recap of the KO event. How dare they? I won't read through this because you know what's going on, don't you, if you've been following it. Let's get on with the story. Okay, just a quick heads up, a spoiler warning in case you haven't read DC KO issue 1. We saw what happened between Joker and the Batman as Batman was about to run into the tournament. Are you ready for this? This is what happened. God, yeah, says Joker. He fired some kind of crazy weapon. Looks like a spear. Shot through Batman's suit, his armour, popped out the other side with a classic bang, little like a flag or note on it. That was it. Batman was supposedly dead right from the start. He was crashing out, saying to Clark, remember what I said. This is followed by this rather strange page, a strange scene. We see Batman looks like a statue, but there's some sound coming from inside the statue. It's pinging, there's light coming out of it. Is it about to explode? Then boom, check this out, look where we are. Where are we? Cyberpunk? Looks like a bit of Blade Runner, Batman of the future. I've got some narration and there is a bit of exposition here. A little bit heavy-handed, but let me read it to you. So we've got Batman. First of all, look at him. What's he wearing? He's looking strange. He's saying that it worked. The Justice League was allowed to prepare, to bring tools, weapons to the tournament. I secretly brought apocalyptian armor outfitted with a special boom tube that would teleport me back home if I became inactive for too long. It sounds a bit sus to me. Sounds like a bit of a cheat. That way I wouldn't be out of the fight if I lost a round. But this is not the Gotham I left behind. How long was I trapped? Did we win and make Gotham this? So yeah, a bit clunky, but it's basically this is the way Batman could survive a possible kill shot. If he's inactive, he's dying, he's not moving, he gets beamed away through the boom tube. Sadly not a boob tube. The boom tube takes him to this weird Batman of the future kind of city. He tries to report into the watchtower. No reply. Then he's trying to get to Mr. Terrific. Do you read? Thunk. A Robin R-shaped mini shuriken smacks into his transmission on his glove. Who's it gonna be? This is what we're greeted with. 4 futuristic-looking Robins. One of them is shouting, "It's the Bat who fell!" "The OG," says somebody else. Look closely, one's got a huge Berserk-style sword, or like Cloud from Final Fantasy. The top one looks strongly like a Dick Grayson-style Robin, but we'll have to see. I'm not sure about the other ones. Let's find out, shall we? What's Batman's reaction to this? He's more concerned with what one of them said. The Bat who fell? Take him down! Okay, I've zoomed in on the top half of the next page just to show you. It's not a double page spread, this. But yeah, again, like just to call out on the art, loving Dan Mora's panels, the way he draws, the perspectives, the figure shapes. But it's a little bit simple, the backgrounds. But anyway, we've got one of the Robins here saying he's calling it in. This is Robin 52. Hello, 52. We have an illegal Batman sighting and we need backup. Bruce is thinking to himself that they're well trained, but it's not by him. He recognises a style and he suspects he knows who taught them. He also gets the feeling that they're not trying to put him down, they're just trying to lead him somewhere. And now if you look closely, there are more Robins here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 we can see just about. I warned you, Bruce. If you returned, it would be war. So finally we get to meet the Batman in this universe. Can you guess who it is? Well, Bruce knows who it is, of course. You must recognise his voice. Dick? Oh, so you remember me. Good. And then Bruce is asking, like, how long ago did we defeat Darkseid? Who won the tournament? And Dick's like, Darkseid? Tournament? What are you talking about? So it hasn't happened in this universe. And then we learn why he's called the Batman who fell. Apparently, Batman put himself into a Lazarus pit. Get some expo again from Dick Grayson here. He's saying that Bruce had his own special brand of midlife crisis. His body was breaking down, which was briefly mentioned at the beginning of the issue. But he refused to give up being Batman. I tried to help you, but you rejected me. You rejected all of us. We tried to stop you, and then you... But before he can go any further, Bruce is he's blocking Dick's punch for a start, but he's screaming like, no, I was in a tournament to end Darkseid, to gain the power to defeat him and save us all. Dick is telling Bruce here, do you realise how crazy you sound? The Lazarus Pit drove you crazy, like it did with Ross, Talia, Jason and Selina. Bruce is like, Selina? Dick thinks this is all in Bruce's head, and then he goes, let me show you what is real, what I made while you were gone. Then yet another fantastic double-page spread from Dan Mora. Yes, I know, I'm losing my mind on his art. Love it so much. Okay, Dick introduces the Bat Tower. And basically, it's a way of saying that they're training anybody who wants to be a Robin. They're creating their own version of Batman Inc., but it is Robin Inc. That's original. Joshua. There's even a little thing at the bottom there saying Magic Manipulation Class. What the heck? Is that a version of Zatanna teaching there? Maybe not. Okay, I just zoomed in on these two panels here. I just love this close-up of Dick Grayson's face. Older man Dick Grayson still looking very cool. Look at that. Dan Mora's art. Okay. Just before he takes off his hood, his mask, he says to Bruce that you were always too much of a control freak. It's like you didn't want to share. So I did what you couldn't. I trusted others. I wanted you to be able to stop, to retire, let your legacy continue with me. But Batman counters that he wanted Dick to have his own life, become his own person, have his own identity. Dick's not having it. Nope, you just didn't want to give up being Batman. This isn't right, says Batman. I need to find out why. Dick replies with, stand down. Did you forget who trained you, says Batman. I've beaten you before, old man. So they're going to kick off. There's a fight. It's brewing. Here we go. Okay, don't want to spoil too much by going into detail. Just have a look at these great 2 pages here. Another double-page spread. Batman versus Batman. Dick Grayson Batman versus Bruce Wayne Batman. It's so cool. There's so much detail in this. The smaller panels. Great fight scenes. You've got Batman complimenting Dick, in his head, of course. Dick's not having it, saying, come on, old man, time to stand down. He gets in with his classic, what they called, gaffy sticks at the end there. Thunk. We're near the end now. Spoilers for the ending, by the way. Dick's saying listen to me, or I'll throw you in Arkham and lose the key. This is the end, Bruce. You're not Batman anymore. You did it. Gotham doesn't need you. You can stop obsessing now. And we hear Batman's narration. He's thinking, maybe Dick's right. Maybe it's time. My time is up. Can't you just admit it, Bruce? Bang! I'm a better Batman than you. But Bruce is secretly thinking, I held back. I didn't want to hurt him. Dick's saying that he's better because he trusts people. He doesn't lead with fear. Then finally we get the question from Batman we've been waiting for. He says to Dick, if you're Batman, then where's Jason, Tim, and Damian? Where are your brothers? Spoilers, folks. Here we go. Dick replies, don't you remember? You let your fear of us replacing you drive you insane long before you went into the Lazarus Pit. You said there can be only one Batman. Only you. The reason they're not here, Bruce, is because you killed them. Dun dun dun. That's how it ends. Next issue, Batman versus Batman to the death. Okay, thanks so much for watching and listening this far. So, yeah, for a score for this, overall, I'm all about the art. Huge Dan Mora fan, as I was pointing out earlier. So, yeah, it gets an extra few points just for the art. But as a story, yeah, it's okay. It's a lot of setup. It's a lot of expo, a lot of internal narration, a lot of explaining the plot. And it's basically Battle of the Cowl all over again, isn't it? Batman versus Batman, who's going to be the next Batman? But that crazy ending, is that just for shock value, do you think? Has Joshua Williamson taken it too far? Batman would never kill. Surely he would have control. He would never let himself go insane, get tempted to go into the Lazarus pits, even though we're told that he supposedly ended his family before he went into the pit. But yeah, I'm going to give this overall, it's it's a 7, 6.5 to a 7 for the story. With the art, 7.5 out of 10. And I know I'm being generous. Okay, we got 2 variant covers here. One on the left is the B cover by John Boy Mayers. The one on the right is a D cover, Fabrizio De Tommaso. Pretty cool. Would you go for one of those, or would you go for the main Dan Mora or the Carrie Andrews one? Okay, as always, thanks so much for watching, and do drop a comment. Let me know what you think of the issue, the review, the channel, Grey, my narration. My God, no idea what I'm talking about anymore. It's getting late. Yeah, what's left to say, but thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Matane.
Any questions? Yes, Shaggy?
Like you wouldn't happen to have a bat cookie on you, would you?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I do.